It seems like 2023 is the year of Super Mario Bros. Although critics judged the Super Mario Bros. Movie pretty harshly, the vast majority of fans absolutely love it. Let's be honest though, who really trusts Rotten Tomatoes and the like anyway? I'm really glad that Mario and the gang finally got a cinematic entry worthy of the franchise and that most fans enjoyed it. In most cases, Hollywood completely trashes everything from our childhood memories, so although the Smurfs may be a lost cause, I'm glad Mario has been left unsullied, for now at least. But the good news isn't over. It was recently announced that a full 3D remake of Super Mario RPG The Legend of the Seven Stars, which released back in 1996 for the SNES, will be out on the Nintendo Switch in November 2023. And I guess this is fitting since 2023 also seems to be the year for remakes and digital remasters. Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, and Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp are just a few great examples of remakes that capture the energy and nostalgia of the original games. And I somehow feel like Super Mario RPG, which is the full title of the 2023 remake, will likely fall into this category as well. As far as I can tell, other than the updated graphics and improved gameplay, as well as all new character animations, Super Mario RPG is a one-to-one remake of the 1996 classic, which has a score of 8.7 on IMDb. I will admit that I am sometimes a little unsure of how to feel about remakes and remasters. On one hand, I think it's great that well-made classic games get a new lease on life and give old fans the chance to experience their favorites on modern consoles, but on the other, I think new IP would be amazing. But this is where Nintendo just proves how attuned they are to the needs of their fans. That's because Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which Nintendo describes as the next evolution of Mario fun and the first new installment in the side-scrolling Super Mario Bros. Series in more than 10 years, will be releasing in October, a month before Super Mario RPG. In other words, not only are we getting a revived classic Mario game, but an all-new one that is essentially classic Super Mario Bros. With some new mechanics and modern visuals. I meant it when I said the good news wasn't over. There's plenty of reasons to be excited, and it's also great that a younger audience will get to experience all of the awesomeness that is Super Mario Bros. I know the Switch is technically a grandpa in the world of consoles, but it's still a highly popular platform and one that continues to deliver hours of fun and enjoyment to gamers all over the world. But what is it that made the original Super Mario RPG great? For starters, it was something of a departure from previous Super Mario games, and in many ways it injected new energy and introduced some interesting new characters into the franchise. The thing is, Super Mario RPG, while fairly simple in terms of its concept and design, is masterfully put together. I also think the Smithy gang, the game's main antagonists, are menacing without being ugly or out of place and are simultaneously a source of humor and enjoyment for players. And that's just it. Super Mario RPG is filled with funny moments and never crosses over into being crass or edgy. It's proof that you can make a game that caters to all tastes and demographics and still make it really good. This kind of subtle self-awareness is still a breath of fresh air to this very day and something that modern game developers would do well to tap into. It's actually frighteningly easy to make a game intended for kids to enjoy that quickly agitates adults or, on the other end of the spectrum, turns out to be creepy, uncanny, or unintentionally scary, or even all three. Super Mario RPG walks along this knife edge with a natural grace that is practically unparalleled more than a quarter of a century later. What's more, the game is accessible and understandable, meaning that anybody can play it and enjoy its mechanics, but it's also not a cakewalk in that different enemy types require different approaches, so a pretty decent amount of strategic thinking is required here if you want to prevail. That's not to say other Super Mario games lack this or are just mindless button mashing. Far from it. But if anything, Super Mario RPG keeps this aspect that forms an integral part of previous entries in mind and leverages it to its fullest. Maybe I'm embellishing a little here, but I think most of you get what I'm saying. I think making a game that appeals to a diverse audience is extremely difficult, but somehow Super Mario RPG just gets the mix exactly right. And this is indeed something that a new audience deserves to experience. And it really is great to see Super Mario RPG's characters and battle scenes recaptured in high-definition 3D graphics. I will say that even though the original game is over 25 years old, it's still very impressive from an aesthetics perspective and is undoubtedly still enjoyed by classic gaming aficionados the world over. If you don't believe me, just look on YouTube and you'll find plenty of playthroughs with full commentary. Super Mario RPG is fun and challenging without being punishing or painful, which is something few games manage to meaningfully achieve. According to stats on howlongtobeat.com, the original Super Mario RPG takes about 18 hours to finish the main story, while completionists can expect to spend another 7 or so hours for a total of 25.5 hours to fully finish the game. My assumption is that 2023's Super Mario RPG will take about as long, but it's possible that with some tweaks to gameplay and the introduction of some new side quests, gamers could expect 30 hours plus of playtime. However, this is just an assumption and hasn't been confirmed as yet, so don't take my word for it. I, for one, am very pumped for Super Mario RPG and have little doubt that it'll be a real treat for both old and new fans alike. Super Mario RPG releases on November 17th, 2023 and will be available on the Nintendo Switch. So that's it for today. What are your thoughts on Super Mario RPG? Are you going to pick it up when it releases? And if you played the original game, who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more gaming, VR, and tech content. From me and the crew here at Metasquad, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later!